And we are back with Training Tip Tuesday. Sarah Trent, along with our fabulous model Mitch, and Kathy Gannan, here to talk a little bit about some of the things that may be distracting you with your four-legged office mate. So, Kath, what are we going to start with?
We're going to start with greeting people the right way. Dogs don't mind jumping on each other, but we don't like it when they do. Now, Mitch is a big guy, so Mitch jumps on you, you're going to know Mitch jumped on you. But a little guy, even a little guy, if they jump on you, they can trip you, you can get knocked off balance, whatever. So we want to teach them that 4 on the floor is where we start.
Okay.
You want to sit, you want to down, whatever. You have to start with 4 on the floor because otherwise they can't do any of the other stuff. So all I'm going to do, Sarah, you're going to hold him just right there, give him that same definite distance as much as possible. Mitch is a very strong boy. And room enough to make a mistake is okay. Are you balanced? Because you kind of want to slow. I'm good. So all I'm going to do is walk up to Mitch. Ooh, nice. He kept his paws on the floor. You can kind of a little bit more slide. Ooh, nice.
Wow, you guys are perfect. Taught him in like 2.
Yeah. But if he were to jump, I would just tell him, oops, and back up a little bit. But as soon as his 4 paws hit the floor again, then I'm going to come back in and reward him. With 4 paws on the floor, I still start with, I'm going to come in, if I can do that, and give you some scratches. Once they get really good at that, then I'm going to come in and you're going to get scratches, and then you get a cookie. As they get better, no cookies, just scratches, because that's really what they want. Now, if you prefer your dog to sit, I'm going to approach, wait him out a second, nice, and then he gets his cookie and some scratches, okay? Down is not the most popular way for your dog to greet people because it's hard. But if you have little kids and a big dog like Mitch, we're teaching little kids to look at the person they're speaking to. So they look at the dog and they're staring at the dog. Hi, doggy, 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 doggy. And that's a confrontational thing to dogs. So if I had a big dog and lots of little kids, I would teach the big dog to lie down to greet them because they'll break the contact automatically. Good. Nice.
I promise he was jumping earlier.
It's okay.
It's fun working with dogs and kids. You never know what you're going to get, right? There you go.
So then we'll try it again. Nice choice. Okay? Yes, I amped him up a little bit. But all I did was back up, oops, and back up. As human beings, we want to say something. But instead of no, because they hear no all the time, just oops, and back up. But as soon as their feet are on the floor again, then we're going to come back at it. Well, oh, that's very nice. Thank you very much. Now, the other thing you have to do, if you don't have a person, you need to find something to tie them out to. So maybe, can we put him around that pole? Just kind of pretend to put him around that pole. So let's say you're all by yourself, because you need to practice it outside too. Otherwise, the dog just says, oh, outside, inside is the only place that it has to work. So, Mitch is tied to the pole. I'm going to walk up to him. This could be a fence post. As soon as he puts things her. Hi. Oh, nice job. And you're going to start the same way. Just 4 paws on the floor. As he gets better. Whoops. Nice job. Right again. Good. Whoops.
So when he jumped on you, you just said, oops, and backed up.
I did.
Didn't give him any encouragement, nothing? He got nothing. So he was like, wow, that didn't get me what I wanted.
Exactly. Attention is attention to a dog, negative or positive. So if we're always telling them no, off, it's our job, number one, then to take care of their behavior. But they're going, ooh, yes, they're talking to me. They're whatever. They're giving me attention for jumping on them. And that's not what we want. Hey, Mitch. Nice job, good boy. And then every now and then he gets a jackpot because that was a really good deal. He actually thought about jumping off those feet, jumping up again. You can undo it. Now we're stressing him out. And a jackpot is maybe they get 2 cookies. Not 2 cookies together, because that's just one to the dog. It's a cookie and a cookie is a jackpot to them. So that way the dog goes, oh, this was well worth my time. And maybe you give it to him one from one hand, one from the other hand, so they really see that difference. But as you practice this, not only do you have to practice this with the people in your house, and you practice inside and outside, but you have to practice with other people. Bribe your friends, relatives, company, or it's not going to work. The dog will not generalize well enough and go, I only have to do it for certain people. Don't let other people tell you, oh, this is what you have to do. This is your dog, your house, your rules. Maybe you don't have, maybe you've got a little dog. I have little dogs in my house. Well, one of them's 6 pounds and he'll sit, but nobody wants to bend way down this way to pet him. And he doesn't let everybody pick him up, and I'm okay with that. But he knows how to sit, and he'll put a paw up, and he'll balance his paw right here. Well, then somebody can do this, and that's much more comfortable. So what works in your world? It doesn't matter. It's whatever's going to work in your world.
For people who just joined, once again, what is the tip for jumping? Could you demo it one more time for us? Okay.
So what we're going to start with is a leash to help us. You can stand on the leash. If he's not going to pull you over, just stand on it. Okay? And, cut him some more slack than that. It's okay for our dogs to make a mistake. The thing is the more times that we correct it, it's our job to take care of their behavior. Okay? Hey, Mitch. Oh, that's nice. Nice. And make sure that you always come in from different sides. Don't always come from the same way. Nice. Because otherwise to the dog, it only works one way. And we want it to work lots of ways. And maybe you go all the way around someone. Nice. Then you decide, how do you want your dog to greet the people in your world? Does your dog need to sit, stand, lie down? That's going to be up to you. And who he gives me that all on his own, it gets him a jackpot. Okay? When he can come in and he lets me pet him and scratch him and get a cookie, then I'm going to change it up. And he has to let me scratch him, and then he gets a cookie. And eventually it's not going to be cookies at all. They just want the loves, but they learn how to do it the right way.
What about for those dogs that are you walk up and they're just beside themselves, and it's so hard to even get them to listen to you, much less to get them to sit?
That's one of those times where I will walk them off because that they're not learning to greet the right way, but I will also set it up previously with people who are going to help me. So they're going to, maybe if it's people coming in your house, the first thing you end up doing is I put my dogs on leash. And people can't look at them, can't talk to them, but they can do this. Toss a treat and walk away.
Got it.
So all good. But, oh, that person just tosses a treat and walks away. They have something to do. It helps their adrenaline drop. And they're like, oh, well, okay. And as they calm down, then I'll let people not talk to them yet, just offer them a treat. The person is worried about the dog taking a treat from them, they can just drop it. And then the dog goes, oh, okay, this is what I have to do.
So he stays down, and that's where he's getting rewarded.
Yep.
So that just keeps him down.
Yeah, all good things come down low. If I jump, nothing good comes. And they'll figure that out really fast. They like that kind of thing. They want to know what they need to do, but in their world, they can jump on each other and it's okay. Most of the time. If you jump on a little guy, it's not going to be okay.
Excellent. Okay. I don't think we have any more questions on this as far as just 4 on the floor, making sure you treat low. And then
practice, 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 practice. Use the leash to help you as they get better. Maybe they're just dragging a leash, and then eventually there's no leash involved.
How long should your practice sessions be?
With anything, I try for 3 to 5 minutes, but multiple times a day.
Got it.
Because that's when it really starts to sink in for dogs. Is lots of short sessions, but they get lots of repetitions. But if you just do too many times in a row, if you try for an hour and keep going, they get bored, and then you get nothing. Except frustration. Put little bits here and there and do it in lots and lots of different places so the dog goes, I get it. Because that's what we want, is a dog to say, I get it, this is what I do.
Excellente. Okay. So what are we moving on to now? Now he doesn't appear to be a barker, so.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. But for people who have dogs that like to bark, my hell house. A little bark is okay, and a little bark is to be expected from dogs. That's part of communication. They're going to let you know what's going on outside. That's just what they do. Incessant barking, not acceptable. So you have to be up there and be Johnny on the spot and reinforce. If you're outside barking, I ask you to stop or enough or whatever you're going to call it, and you don't, in the house you come for a few minutes, and then we'll go back and try it again. See how that works with them. Same thing like with windows and doors. I want my dogs to tell me if there's somebody out there. But when I ask you for enough, or stop it, or quit, or quiet, or whatever you call it, I want you to move away and come do something else. Now, in the beginning, you might have to put a leash on them, especially in the house. You might have to put a leash on them. They bark at something at the window and don't respond to your enough. Bring them away, don't talk to them, but as soon as they're quiet, talk to them. Thanks for letting me know, and you can reward that. And then give them something to do. A bone to chew on, a toy that will last them longer. Otherwise, they're going to go right back to the window to come get a cookie. They'll figure that out really fast.
So Jasmine's wondering about excited barking through the fence.
Again, if it's fence play, if you're okay with fence play, let them play. You know, some dogs like to bark when they play. It's like some kids like to scream when they play. But if you're not okay with it, again, go out, interrupt it, bring them in, let them calm down, go back and try it again.
So it'd be a good idea to have a leash on your dog to do that, so that you can kind of go, hey, not okay, we're going to remove you from the situation.
And just even turn around and walk away. As soon as they're quiet, you engage with them. Because otherwise they're getting reinforced for the barking. I'm going to engage with you when you're quiet. This is when you're going to get my attention. I'm barking like that, we're not going to do that. And you can decide. Maybe you want to give them a couple minutes to fence play and bark a bit, and then, okay, that's enough, now we're done. Good toys in the backyard that they only see in the backyard will help with some of that as well. If that dog next door gets along with other dogs and so does your dog, have play dates. Change yards, but have play dates. So they get to play with each other and they're not so frustrated then. This is fun.
So if he's barking and you really just can't call him off, like maybe a squeaky toy or something like that to distract or to catch attention?
You can, something to get his attention, and then you still just walk him in the house. So it's the squeaky toy that got their attention, not you. You squeak, you're the one that did the squeak, but you're not talking to them, you're not engaging that way, you're just walking them in the house and calming them down. And you decide, how many chances do they get to calm down? 2, 3, 1? It's up to you. As they get better, it's probably just 1.
Somebody wants to know if we're offering obedience classes right now.
Right now, everything is postponed due to the coronavirus, but we will be up and running again as soon as we get the all clear.
Excellent. In the meantime, if people have questions, they can call our behavior helpline, can't they, as well?
Absolutely. And they'll get help. If that person can't do, she'll forward on to other people so that we get the help you need.
So our behavior helpline is, you can email it at behelp@nehumanesociety.org.
Yes.
It's free of charge and it works for any pet. You don't have to have adopted from NHS. It's there to keep pets in homes.
Exactly.
So we can do a variety of things with dogs and cats. We don't want to leave the cat lovers out, although it was such a beautiful day we had to come outside, so no kitties out here. But again,
critters too. Yep.
behelp@nehumanesociety.org, and I know that there's a phone number as well.
444-7800 or 402 444-7800 extension 22.
I know, right? I should have written it down and I didn't. But anyway, or if you call 444-7800, the menu will take you through, and I think it's number 3. I think number 1 is animal control, number 2 may be dog training, so it's either 2 or 3. You can click on it, leave a message, and they'll get back to you, right?
Absolutely.
Talk you through the process.
Yep, absolutely.
Great.
Yes.
Let's see. That is fabulous. So again, barking,
Yes.
distract, don't give them.
Don't give them attention for it. And it's hard for us. We want to say, no, don't bark. But to the dog, it's like, yes, game on, they're with me. And no, I'm not with you on that one. And it will make a big difference. But the more we talk to them and are, commentating or whatever on their bark while they're barking, they're like, yes, they're barking with me.
I'm getting attention.
Yeah, I got them. But if the less attention they get for it, the better it will be.
So Sarah, tell us about this dude.
This is Mitch. He is, I believe, 1 or 2 year old boxer mix, available for adoption. He is doing great right now, but he can get a little on the rowdy side, so he'd do better with older kids who can handle some jumping up on them and some of that rowdiness. He's really social. He loves playing with other dogs, and where he can be more rowdy, and the other dog's not going to care too much.
Excellent.
He's a great boy, looking for an active family who'd love to do some stuff with him.
And he's available on our website, correct?
Yeah.
All adoptions are now by appointment, so check out Mitch's profile. If you click on the photo, you get the profile, and you also get a link to the adoption application. What?
Do we want some activity things?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I totally forgot you brought some fun stuff out. Okay, so here's some stuff, what, for dogs that might be a little bored in your home?
I know, just a minute. Okay, you might want to see. This is something just you can use at feeding times, and maybe you, while you're all home, you split up your feeding times throughout the day. What it does is it slows them down, so especially if you have a dog that's a fast eater. But for brain challenge also, I can put this down here, and he's got to figure out how to get all that food out of there. It takes him a little longer. You gotta think about this and use his tongue. He's like, oh, okay. And some of them will eventually figure out how to put their paw in it and dump it, but
Excellent. He's figuring that out pretty well. This is probably good for a dog that might gulp down food and
Absolutely.
maybe then go roll and maybe be prone to bloat.
Yep.
Yeah?
or throw it back up and want to eat it again.
Well, then there's that.
And you can see he gets a little bit of exercise with it too. He gets a lot of mental stimulation trying to figure out how to get all that out of there. It slows him down, but he's wandering around the dish as well.
Good. It's not just a gulp and I'm done and what's next. This will
Right.
take him a good, I don't know, couple minutes probably at least.
And that's not a whole meal for him. You know, he's a big guy. I just put a handful of kibble in there. So again, it just challenges them, gives them something else to think about so they're not so bored. Especially if it's, you know, rainy, icky outside. Like it was on Sunday.
Good job, Mitch. Finding that food, working it.
And he kind of doesn't care if the rest of us are here. He says, I'm busy, I'm occupied.
Right, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, you know, you need to sit down at your computer or something, and you need to work. You can also put something in there like smush peanut butter in there and let him sit and lick it out and figure out how to get it out.
Yeah.
And it'll occupy him for a while. Or some people have done doggy toothpaste.
Tara Dorsey says, where can I buy this?
Any store.
Pet stores like PetSmart,
Yeah,
Petco,
online, any pet store, yep.
online.
Yep. Get it sized appropriately because there are bigs and littles.
What's
and medium.
it called? Is it called like a certain, like a puzzle, not a puzzle feeder, but a...
It's just a feeding bowl that slows them down. You could probably look at her. Yeah, it's not a puzzle feeder, but
Slow feeder.
slow feeder. There you go.
Linda wants to know, does this work for small dogs too?
Yes. There's different size bowls. So you'd want, this bowl would be too big for the little small guys, but they have a smaller one. The little guys can get in there fast. They're still going to gobble it pretty fast from a big bowl, but if you get the smaller one, it still has a little maze in it and everything in there, but then they have to eat around. It's a little bit tighter for them.
And you want to put something in there they really want.
Yes. So if you do it at meal times, when they're hungry, their kibble is going to be great because they're hungry and they want to eat, and it'll slow them down. Other times you can put other stuff in it, you know,
Nice.
just to occupy them.
He's enjoying it.
Yep. And then they get down to the last of it and he's like, oh, I got to get it out.
It's a puzzle. It's a brain teaser. All right, we have more. But there's more. Wait, Kathy's got her magic bag of tricks back there. Oh, so she's got one you can make at home,
Yes.
I think.
This is something you can do at home. It's a muffin tin, some tennis balls, and whoops, where'd the treat go? And treats. So I just stuck a little treat in there, put a tennis ball on top of it. You can finish it. And then they have to figure out how to get it out. Now, if they get really good at it, you can cut the tennis balls in half, and then they sit tighter in there, so then it's harder for them to figure it out.
Gotcha.
Hey, Mitch. They have to use their nose.
Okay. He's like, the other one was way easier. You can smell it, right? Figure it out. Figure it out, boo. No,
Can I show you?
it's too hard.
Look. See? What's in there? Attaboy. Oh.
Oh, there we go.
And we had to figure out, and you know, some dogs will figure out, oh, I pick it up. I had a dog that hit the end of it, sent all the tennis balls out, and ate the treats. So we set it back up again, and the dog in half an hour still couldn't figure out how to get it back out again. Attaboy. And sometimes we look at it and go, oh, I just want to put my foot on it for him and help him. Don't. Let him figure it out how to do it. It occupies them longer, makes the game more fun.
And if you've got a ball crazy dog,
Oh my gosh, yes.
it'll blow their mind. Go, Mitchie, go.
And again, he has to work at it a little bit because as they're kind of, muffins are a smaller thing and he's got kind of a big snout on him. His muzzle's kind of squared off.
Good job, Budrick. Oh.
You can get any kind of a glass, I would get plastic, as opposed to a paper or glass object. And you can play the 3-card Monty with them. Basically, he's not busy yet, ladies.
Now we're all interested in it.
You're going to put a cookie under one. And they have to use their nose to figure out.
We're still working on the tennis balls over here, Kath. Which is great. That's really giving him some, like, hey, I got to figure, oh, there you go.
Boy.
Look at that. You did it, buddy.
And again, if you put something like peanut butter where they have to lick it out, or some yogurt or something like that, they're going to be occupied a little bit longer. So with this one, now we don't want them just to go and knock them all over. So they have to use their nose a little bit. I don't know how well that's going to work with the AstroTurf.
There's concrete right behind you.
Good point. Hey, Mitch. And the stinkier the treat with this one, the better it will be. This is a little tricky. My dogs have a terrible time.
Let's see if he'll figure this out.
Can you find it?
If you have a border collie, they're going to be like, they'll watch you and then just find it immediately.
Where'd it go?
He's like, find what?
Where'd it go? He's like, I don't know about this, but I'm kind of not really bred for my nose. But yes, then you can start mixing them up, and they have to learn to pick the right one.
Oh, he loves the ball. He's got the ball. He's way happier with the ball than the treat.
That's okay. And then one more homemade thing: a box, not a hat box, and not a box that just flaps over like a box you get tennis shoes in. It'll just fold over. You want a box that you can fold the flaps in. I put a little bit of peanut butter in here. I put some kibble for sound, little sticks of peanut butter, and you can put like a couple bites of lunch meat. I actually used a little bit of cat food because that's what I had. And say go, and let him figure out how to get that stuff out of there. They tear it up, maybe. Go find it. Atta boy, good job. Good job. He's like, no, I like that thing better.
He's really all about the muffin tin, isn't he?
Well, and just like us, dogs have things they like better than other things. It's okay. Just find those things that your dog likes, because that's what's going to occupy hard to get this in.
Kathy spent all morning on that box, Mitch. You're gonna hurt her feelings if you don't play with it.
And actually, the hardest part was folding the flaps. This is a tough one. Oh, do you not smell it? Look. There you go.
Oh, oh. You can see him thinking this through.
Uh-huh.
Like
and
how?
Maybe he's never had a box before. So it's no clue. I have no idea what to do with it. Find it. That'll play. Good job. Okay.
Is Timmy in the well?
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry. Bad at. He's just looking at it.
The nice thing about boxes is that you can actually have them do this in the house. Good boy. And they really don't trash your house much. Cardboard and stuff, but let them tear it up, let them shred it. If you do it in the backyard, they will not go through the mower well.
Look at him. He's working it.
Oh,
he got it. Nice. Good job, Mitchie.
Good boy, Mitch.
If you have a dog that really likes this, you can also take one of their favorite toys instead of food and put it in a box. I had someone that did that. They put it in a box, and then they put it in another box, and then they put it in another box. The dog thought this was the best game in the world. That dog worked for 3 hours to get his toy out. Happy dog, and then took a nap. But it was something fun. This is an easy game that if you have an older dog who's maybe not as agile and as spry anymore, or a dog maybe that's had some sort of knee surgery or hip surgery, it doesn't hurt that injury. Well, what? Are you a little worried about it? It gives them a chance to... He says, I'm not real sure about putting my head in this box. Good boy. But if I hold it, it's okay, I guess. What if we tip it this way? What if we do it this way? Now, is that better? Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, those flaps can be scary. It's a scary thing, those flaps.
So again, it's just something different.
Right. Absolutely. And something to maybe occupy a little bit of time as you're trying to get your Zoom call completed.
There you go.
Pop a box down or a muffin tin down with some some treats, and a half an hour later you're done with your call and he's done with that.
As it gets warmer, something else to think about is to make Frosty Paws for your dog. It's basically doggy ice cream. It's yogurt, some baby food fruit. It does call for some peanut butter and some honey. I leave those out because I figure they don't really need those calories from that. But you can take it, mix it up, and then freeze it and put it either in ice cube trays, so you have little tiny ice cubes, which is great for little guys, or you can put it in homemade popsicle makers, and then send them out on the patio. You know, you're going out and sit in the yard in the patio and have a drink or whatever. Take the dog out, give them something like that to do with that. And it's just different. It's fun. In the summertime, it will cool them off a little bit.
Kind of a, low calorie, kind of a popsicle type of deal.
Yep. They actually are pretty good at testing.
Look at him. He's so funny.
It is a really good thing. Oh boy, that's so brave. I know. That's so brave.
That box is scary. You've
And
never
he got
seen
the
him.
kibble out, so now it's stuff that he has to lick, which is why he doesn't want to keep his head in there.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, but it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of enticing.
There's good stuff in there.
Should I do this? Should I put my head in here?
And this box is a pretty tough box. It's a pretty hard, firm box.
Right.
So, a box that's not quite as firm would probably be a fun thing too. Here, if I hold this, is that oh, there you go.
So we have a question on agility. How early can you safely teach your pup to do jumps? My thought is you might want to get some expert help with that.
Yes, because you don't want to hurt joints. They're still growing and, filling out and developing and everything. Generally, we'll take them after a puppy class, but the instructor will make sure that everything is very low. Teach you the right way to do things so that the dog doesn't get hurt, neither do you. As human beings, we for some reason want to set everything high and have them go, and that's really not where we need to start because that's how the dog gets hurt. Even though, yes, they can jump on a bed, they can do all these things, we still don't want to set them up for that first. We want to start really low and get them brave because they're also going between two poles as well as over a pole. There's a lot to think about there too. So, yes, too young, no, we don't want to do, but unless it's way geared down. I had somebody that did agility with her dogs, and she also bred dogs. And her husband made little teeny tiny agility equipment for those itsy bitsy puppies just to get them to learn to walk over stuff and different things like that. But none of it was jumping.
So definitely take your time and maybe consult an expert.
Absolutely.
On that, a trainer.
The same thing if you want to run with your dog. Don't be running them on hard cement.